Hello, hi, and welcome back to this video. If you don't know me, I'm Laura. I'm a chemical engineering student who's completely obsessed with everything knitting and fiber arts related. And today we're going to be doing a planning with me for 2026. So today I'm sitting down. I am planning out my 2026. I love to do this every year, both for my personal goals, my work goals, and then my knitting goals as well. And today I thought I would take you guys with me throughout my whole planning process. So if I were you guys, I would go grab a piece of paper, or you can find the template that I'm using down below, and then let's get planning. So each year when we reach about this time at the year, I like to do my yearly planning. And when I say yearly planning, I don't mean doing my yearly planning and then not revisiting it for a whole year. I mean doing my yearly planning and then checking in throughout the year to make sure that I'm sticking to my goals and my visions for the year. And I thought I would take you guys with me because planning your year can give you so many benefits and it can help you reach the goals you want to reach. And when I say planning, I don't mean that I'm planning every single thing I want to knit throughout the year or that I have no creative freedom throughout the year. It is nothing like that. For me, it's an overall plan to make sure that the colors I'm choosing, the type of garments I'm knitting is fitting in with my wardrobe choices, with my color palette, so all of those things. And for me, it isn't about being more productive or knitting more. It's about being very intentional with the things I buy. Okay, so like with all planning, step one is actually to reflect upon the year that has passed and make sure that you'll learn from your wins and from your mistakes. I really want to get this out of the way. Reflection isn't about shaming yourself for what you didn't do or what you did wrong. Reflection is about learning from the past year and celebrating the achievements that you actually made throughout the year and taking those with you into the year that is about to come. So some of the stuff that I look at when I'm reflecting upon my year is what goals have I achieved that I really wanted to achieve? What ways of knitting and creating garments have I really enjoyed? Which habit has helped me the most with knitting and being a bit productive, because I like being productive with my knitting as well? And what happened throughout the year that I really didn't enjoy or that made me not like knitting as much? And I thought we should talk a bit about what worked for me and what didn't work for me. So firstly, I think the easiest is usually talking about what didn't work out for you, and it's the easiest for me as well. So what didn't work for me this year was that I've made a ton of gift knits, and I really enjoy making gift knits for people and for my loved ones, and I enjoy gifting them. However, it can be quite stressful for me because knitting has always been about relaxation and getting my mind off the work related or daily life things and just being, knitting, creating something with my hands, and having a deadline on when I need to have it finished, which colors I need to choose, which kind of yarn I need to choose. It's just a lot of things that I can't choose out of what I enjoy, but I have to choose out of what other people enjoy or when their birthday is and stuff like that. So I found that the next year I'm not gonna do as much gift knitting, even though I enjoy giving people the gifts. It's just not worth me feeling stressed out about knitting. What didn't work for me either was that I've been buying a lot of yarn this year and I really want to be better with that. And that made me have a huge yarn stash that is kind of stressing me out because I have so much yarn and I really do a lot of research and thought about each purchase that I do, which means that a lot of my time and energy has gone into making a purchase that is just laying in my drawer now. So I really want to be more mindful about not doing knitting things that is stressing me out, which can be gift knits or buying loads of yarn that is just laying around. And lastly, I think I haven't been intentional enough about the choice of colors that I've done for the projects I've made, which is actually quite a shame because I've been knitting some stuff that I'm just not getting the use out of because the color doesn't suit me. And I don't know how I'm gonna figure it out because I've been seeing, the different color analysis all over TikTok and Instagram and YouTube for that sake as well. And I really want to know what my color palette is and what color type I am. So if you know a lot about this or you're good at figuring that out, please comment down below which color palette you think I am. Okay, now let's talk about what worked well for me throughout the year. So the first thing I think worked out really well is that I do a lot of research whenever I'm buying yarn to make sure that it is a yarn that I'm going to enjoy working with and wearing as well. And that just made all of my yarn purchases be spot on. I don't think I have a yarn in my stash that I'm not itching to knit with. And that is just a really great feeling. And I've found some amazing yarns that are recycled or upcycled, and I've tried a lot of yarns. That is something that I'm really proud and happy about. Furthermore, I think it worked out quite well for me that I at all times have at least 2 projects going on. I have a project that requires a bit more of me, so that can be color work or cables or something like that, that I can use when I really want to be immersed in knitting and I'm not necessarily doing a lot of other things while I'm knitting. And then the other project I have is like a travel project or a mindless project, so that can be a like normal top-down raglan sweater that I'm just knitting in stockinette stitch, or you know, something like that, that I can use when I'm out and about with other people or watching TV with my boyfriend, or bringing it when I'm going to my parents' house, because I really like having the 2 different options. And some days I'm just not feeling knitting something that requires a lot of my attention, but I do knit as well because I have anxiety and I do a lot of skin picking and nail biting, shaking my leg, you know, all of those different anxiety things. And I found that taking my knitting with me and knitting when I'm getting that anxiety feeling has helped me a lot. So I do bring my knitting everywhere, in the car, out for dinner, and just basically everywhere. And sometimes I need a mindless knitting project that when I'm feeling anxiety, I can just take that and start knitting. Furthermore, I bought these amazing wires that when you attach them to the needles, they're like, they can like twist around itself. So it's not like when you're knitting, the needle goes off. And I think that was my best purchase of 2025. And if you want to see a video on my 2025 knitting favorites, you can let me know down below, and I would love to make that for you guys as well. But those wires has been a life changer for me, as well as buying both the longer version of the needles as well as the smaller versions for the sleeves. And I don't know why I've been so hesitant to do that for what, 2 years now. I thought it was a waste of space, a waste of money to buy the same millimeter needles in different sizes. But since I bought my 4mm needles used for sleeves because I broke my longer 4mm needles, I found out how freaking nice it is to have smaller needles. So for this Christmas, I wished for a whole knitting needle set with smaller needle sizes, or like the length of the needles. And I think that has been such a game changer for me as well. Okay, so what I want to do, I'm taking basis in the template that I've made for you guys as well, is that I like to ask myself these 4 questions. So where the first question is, what is my favorite finished object? And it is usually quite a hard choice for me, but yes, this year I think it has been quite an easy choice actually, because there's one sweater that I've just been using over and over again, and every time I'm wearing it, the yarn feels amazing. It has not started to pill at all, which is amazing when you're thinking about how much I've used the sweater. And it is my cloud sweater from Petite Knit. This cloud blouse has just, or cloud sweater has just been an amazing knit for me. I've used it so much, I decided to make it a bit more cropped than what the sweater actually calls for. And that just meant that it is hitting me at the perfect length on my body. And I knitted it in Viking Garn's Alpaca Bris, as well as Viking Garn's Alpaca Silk Mohair. And it is the most soft and fluffy and nice material that I think I have knitted with this year, but it is just the most amazing combination and I can only recommend knitting with it. My mom really loved my sweater and I ended up knitting one for her. I brought it with me on winter holidays and she just loved it so much that I bought the exact same yarn in a different color though and knitted one for her, and it has been one of her most worn items as well. And that kind of fits into my most used slash most worn item. Another item that I think is one of my most used items is my beanie. So I made a free-handed beanie using Viking garn's Alpaca Maya, which is a brushed alpaca yarn, and it just turned out so fluffy, so warm, and exactly the way I wanted it to. And I'm wearing the hat like every time I'm going out the door and I really enjoy it. And it has been, I think, my most used item this year. The third question I ask myself is, what is your least worn item? And for me, it is a colored sweater, and I made it in this very bright pinkish color and like magenta pinkish color, as well as a very bright light pink color that I have switched around in the pattern. And even though I really enjoy this sweater, I don't think this is within my like preferred color palette. It is such a shame because I really like the fit of the shirt. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to use it with the colors, so I might end up putting it on Vinted. So if you're interested in that shirt, you can leave a comment down below. I really wish I could wear those colors, but I don't think I can. Okay, and the last question is, what colors did I use that I really enjoyed working with or that I think suit me very much? And I think I haven't done a lot of colors that I actually like on myself this year, which is what I talked about earlier. I really want to be intentional with the colors I'm choosing. But I knitted my Maggie cardigan by Petite Knit in the alpaca silk from Sadness Garn in like a petroleum green color, and I think those have suited me very well, and it is a color that I have been using a lot. I've bought a bit of some different colors. I actually have this yarn here. I really like red colors as well, so this like cherry red color I think suits me quite a lot as well. It needs to be a more muted color in order for it to suit me. So yeah. Okay, the next part I go through is my vision for my wardrobe for the next year. And then I will write down what I really want, what I think I need in my wardrobe, and then I will make a vision board as well, displaying different colors and styles that I really want to bring with me into 2026. And for this year, I think I really want to knit some more basics that I can use and knit some more nicer clothes. So I think Wool and Beyond has made a kind of shirt like this, like an oversized nicer shirt pattern, and it is very chic and very like aesthetic work type of knitwear, and I really want to make some more projects like that. Furthermore, I really like the old money style, so I am really eyeing up some cabled knits and some cabled knit cardigans as well, and I have some in mind that I think I might cast on quite soon. I think you should go all out with this. I really enjoy making this. I enjoy making the vision board. I usually do the vision board first. When I finish with that, I will try to condense it into some sentences that I put in the document here so that I know what I want to curate for myself. Take a look at like the most knitted items or newly published items and then put those on your vision board as well. And under this question, I usually ask myself which fibers I want to knit with. Getting to know yourself and which fibers you enjoy will also make it easier choosing yarn. Let's go to the next part of this video. The second part to my planning is all about my yarn stash and my buying goals slash yarn acquisition goals. Here I firstly make some stash goals for myself, and my main goal for this year is using up my stash and not buying any more yarn. And my main goal is to not buy any more yarn until I've finished 6 projects with the yarn that I already have in stash. I really want to be intentional and thoughtful about the climate, which means that I have to knit with my stash already. So this can actually be broken down into 2 goals for me. So one is I want to be more environmentally cautious, and the second one is that I want to be more financially cautious, so not spending as much money on yarn, but I already have a big stash at home. And the steps that I'm going to take in order to make sure that I am sticking to this goal is that I'm going to only be browsing projects that fit the yarn gauge that I already have in my stash, so that I don't get tempted to knit anything else. And the second thing is that I'm going to be telling my boyfriend about this goal, because we are living together and he is the one that mostly picks up all of my packages that I order with yarn. So telling him is also making it easier to stick to the goal, because I know that it can be so hard to make a goal and make an agreement with yourself and actually stick to that. And it is easier if you have other people in on the goal as well. So that is a little tip for you guys too. Furthermore, in regards to those goals, I've made a little section on yarn buying rules. So the yarn buying rule number 1 is that I'm not allowed to buy any more yarn until I've finished 6 projects with yarn I already have in my stash. But there's a exception to this. So I'm allowed to buy yarn if it's for a gift knit where I don't have a yarn I think fits the person I'm gifting, or enough yarn for the person I'm gifting. The third rule, or the second official rule, is that I'm allowed to wish for yarn for Christmas and for my birthday, and I'm also allowed to accept yarn from brands. I'm currently working with a brand that sent me some yarn, and I'm allowed to do that as well. And I just realized I've been calling it my color palette throughout the whole video, which is not the right term. It is color season. But my last question on this page is, what is my color palette or color season? So I really wanted to get my color analysis done so I can find my color season. But I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do a bit more research. I am trying those filters on TikTok and trying to find my color palette. And when I've found it, I'm going to put it in the right side of this document. Like, I've already put a placeholder color palette in. Okay, and I think that is it for all of my goals planning for 2026. The intent was to show you guys my planning process and showing you the document that I have created for you guys as well. And if you want to see my 2026 knitting plans and the yarn that I have in my stash that I want to use for those, you can let me know down below, and I would love to make a video like that. Also, if you do know your color palette, or you know what mine probably is, please let me know down below. I love to see which color palette suits different people. Trying to compare with me and just having a look at that is so much fun, so I would love to know that. And I will see you in my next video. Happy planning, guys!